You've worked for two billionaires now, Vince and Tony. What are the similarities there, and what are the differences between working for both of them?
I mean, the passion is the similarities, and you have to have it. The enthusiasm, for sure. The wrestling knowledge, even though Vince was in his 70s and Tony's in his 30s. But I always think back to what was Vince like in 1982 when he took over, WWF. And he was probably a lot like Tony, The coolest thing about working for both of them is you almost become like a billionaire whisperer. You got to know how to talk to these guys. Tony's my boss. I have never once disrespected him, not done what he's asked of me, talked back to him, caused any problems whatsoever because he's my fucking boss. And, if we're on set for a movie and, frickin' Steven Spielberg goes, "Hey, Chris, I want you to, take this soda can and pour it over your head." And I go, "That's fucking stupid." He's like, "Okay, well then they'll hire some other dude to come in and pour the soda can over his head." It's like, this is show business and we play a role and a part in a show. And it doesn't matter if you like it or not. You have to make it work and you have to make it good. It's what Pat Patterson taught me. He used to say about Vince that, some days he likes chocolate, some days he likes strawberry, but it's his fucking ice cream shop. You got to make the ice cream. You do what he wants you to do. You don't like the chocolate? Who gives a fuck? You make the ice cream. And that's my big thing. It's Tony's ice cream stand. So whatever he wants me to do, I'll do my best.
With that passion that Vince has, I feel like people thought he would never step aside unless he was dead.
Right.
He stepped aside now.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at that?
I mean, once again, there's the reasons why he was stepping aside, and I'm not talking about that side of things. I never thought he would step down, and then I think had those other issues come up, there's no way that he would have. But also, too, Vince is also smart, and I bet you he was like, okay, I'm at the point now where this is not good for me to be here. So he trained, groomed Triple H for 20 years, and probably felt confident enough that things are going to continue without him. And I say this all the time, like in AEW, I think everybody could use 6 months working for Vince McMahon, because that's where you really understand what wrestling is, the wrestling business, and how the business works. And I loved working for him, and I loved going head to head with him and creating ideas and debating ideas and arguing ideas, and not easy to deal with and an asshole sometimes, but he's your boss. You're not supposed to be friends with your boss all the time, but then you can still get on the private jet and drink for 4 hours.
What's he drink?
He drinks, I think it's Dewar's. He drinks whiskey.
And you're a vodka guy,
Vodka,
right?
yeah. So he could never understand that. And actually, it was great. When I was hosting Tough Enough in Orlando, I had a press day in New York the next day, and he would always fly in and out of White Plains. That's close to where he lives. And they said you can just jump in on the jet with Vince. So it was me and Vince and Triple H and Kevin Dunn. And we're flying back from Orlando, and it probably left it actually they oil spotted me and left me at the venue. And then we're like, "Where are you at? We're at the plane. Where are you?" It's like, "You guys were supposed to give me a ride." I said, "We weren't supposed to give you a ride." Oh, so fucking asshole. So then I get there and I get on the plane and we start to fly, and he and I are drinking, and Triple H and Kevin Dunn decided to go to sleep. And so Vince and I are just kind of hanging out, listening to the Stones and AC/DC, because those are his two favorite bands. And we land and we go to our respective hotels. Actually, when we land, he goes, "Let's go to the gym." I'm like, "Dude, go to the gym. It's like literally like 4:30 in the morning. Like, I got to get up at 7. He's like, "I got to get up at 6. Well, we're fucking drunk." He's like, "Let's go to the gym." I'm like,
Wow.
"You're not going to the gym. I'm not going to the gym. I'm going to sleep." So I get to my room and go to sleep about 4:30 and wake up at 6:30. And I got a text on my phone, a picture of Vince flexing in the gym. And he writes, "Vince 1, Jericho 0.
Wow.
Yeah, he was probably 73 at the time or something.
That's insane.
Yeah. But he has that work ethic, He would always say, like, "I don't expect you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself."
Wow.
And that rubs off. There's a way that the WWE works where you don't say no to anything. I mean, they ask you to do press, you do it. They ask you to sign 1,000 action figures, you do it. Because if you don't, there's going to be consequences. and big ones.
You had a great relationship with Vince. Are you still in touch with him now?
Once in a while, I'll shoot a text or something like that. I think the last time I spoke to him, something went down in Saudi Arabia that I commented on. He got mad at me about that. At the end of the conversation, he goes, "Hey, you know what else? You need to lose some weight." It's like poking at you. If I had glasses on, he would have called me Four Eyes or something.